everyone. This is Fort Wayne, Indiana subgroup 1 and Fort Wayne, Indiana subgroup 2 presentation feedback video.
All right, well, I'll start it off. I just wanted to say that I feel like this whole project that you guys came up with was very, very detailed. And I feel like in the very beginning, you guys had great recent dates and statistics. And throughout the whole paper, you guys had very thorough information. So I just wanted to give that to you guys. But yeah, that would be my positive feedback for you guys.
I agree with Katie on that. And I also want to give you guys a shout out and positive feedback on your punctuality and your communication within this project as well. You guys were very helpful when we had any questions, and you were very detailed with all of your things that you had, and it flowed very nicely.
Yes. I'm sorry. Do you want to go first, Caitlin?
Yes, I agree with both of those two comments. You could tell just while reading this document that this was put together by a group that worked together and communicated with each other and used their own experiences in writing and the supporting literature, put it into your own words while making this project in this paper. This is really a critical and important topic in this field, antecedent factors and that kind of thing. So it's something that I feel like we really have to be clear about and knowledgeable about in the field, because it impacts our clients, the children and the adults that we may serve. So yeah, I really liked the passion that you could read about how you're reading and discussing this article. You guys did a great job. So good work, everybody.
Yeah, I also agree that the attention to detail throughout was really great, and you could see the creativity too when you're talking about the clients and all of the details that you include about each of these clients. Let's see, right here popped up on the document that I really liked the point about the training and how you need to refrain from using technical jargon, and I feel like you guys also did that as well in your document, so it's easy for someone who may not be in the ABA field or very familiar with it. So it was very easy to follow along, and you guys did a great job.
I want to commend you as well. We passed the document through a free plagiarism app, and the results showed that the paper was 100% unique. Well done.
I also think you guys did a great job with diversity and inclusion, ensuring that there's any accommodations that need to be made and what steps that are willing to be made to incorporate everybody and their preferences. I think that only builds to a stronger connection and meaningful change, not only for the clients, but the effectiveness of the training. And I also really enjoyed how the example of schooling, how widely used that is and how applicable and versatile the intervention is, and how a wide scope there is for this implementation. So very cool.
Yeah, one thing I like from your project, your project was the statistics. It was quite surprising to see that you included statistic from the U.S. Census Bureau, household median income and all of that. So it kind of shows the detail, the research you conducted to kind of get all of this information to the paper. Good job. That's all I can say. So let me ask you a question for the team. I know we're doing a feedback. Who was responsible putting the paper together?
I'm sorry, will you repeat that one more time?
Yes, I was asking who was responsible to put the whole paper together?
We all put it together. We had an outline from the PDF that she supplied that talked about the project in the paper. And then we all went in and worked together to fill in the different parts. we all also like double checked everyone else's work and just really tried to work together and make sure the flow was according to how the professor wanted, as well as what we thought fit best.
We also, in the very beginning stages of this antecedent intervention, when it came to the research, we all were assigned with doing the research. Even if there were duplicate resources that we found, everybody found several resources, both peer-reviewed journal articles and, looking through other things that have been tried online with high P request sequences, and then came together and pulled the most important pieces out of it for this as well. So it was kind of, the flow was kind of ongoing throughout the process, where we would have certain parts of it that we would all work on and have due. And then you can see by some of our comments that we just, throughout the day, whenever we had a couple minutes, we would go in and read portions, make comments on it, and then we would all get together at night to flesh out the ideas better or to remove things as well.
Yeah, I would also like to add to Angie's statement that we did have Zoom meetings with the document, and we would write as we were speaking to each other to clarify and make sure that we all agreed with what was being written. Especially before we submitted it, we read the whole paper as a group and went through together and made changes. That way we weren't changing someone else's portion without them in agreement that we were changing it.
Yeah, we definitely were on Zoom for over an hour. Sometimes it was like 2 hours. We would just be on there together going over every part, which was really awesome because I felt super supported through with everybody in the group, because it is an overwhelming project, but I feel like you have the support of your group, and being able to go over all together and feeling that all together was really helpful. And thank you for the feedback, the positive feedback.
Oh yeah, because it looks like it's one person kind of like, because everything flows like correctly in order, and it looked like one person put it together. Like to see like
that was the goal. That was the goal, but it didn't like. Thank you for saying that, because we all speak differently, even when we were going through your guys's your recommendations and stuff.
Yeah.
We read everything out loud, because what I thought was the correct way to word something, someone else was like, well, maybe not. And so that's really a great piece of feedback, knowing that it flowed in a way that it didn't sound or look, choppy, like 7 different people did it.
Yeah, we definitely all worked together on that.
It definitely didn't sound like different people talking in different paragraphs. Everything flowed together, sounding very clear and concise.
I feel like we were even very aware of our spoken language, and Montana pointed that out a couple of times, like, oh, that sounds good how we speak it, but as a written language, how does it sound? And so we really worked together on that.
That's great. And it's good practice, because within this field, we have lots of collaboration with other professionals. So it's nice to practice that and acquire that feedback from others that you're working with, both positive and constructive, feedback, and apply that and get everybody's input. So that's awesome. Good work.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that you guys worked as a team on this. A question that I do have, do you guys have any advice for us for when we start ours, our version of the project?
I would say have everybody be detail oriented in all of the directions in all the different places, because they give you the instructions for the assignment, but then you have to make sure you view the rubric, and then you have to make sure that you're following the questions that are asked on that discussion board. And then if you have questions, reaching out to the professor right away instead of guessing. But we got a lot of good answers when we did the office hours. So even if you could have one person attend the office hours, I think that would be really helpful, because we were so confused and so frustrated and so unsure if we were doing it the correct way. And there were a lot of a lot of bits and pieces of feedback and requirements that she gave us, that like there was so much more detail that we added to this. And she, when we asked her about it, she was like, well, you got to keep in mind who's your audience with this. You know, these are brand new people in the field. If you add all of those details, you're going to miss the importance of the high P and the basics of that. And then you worry about that client specific training later on in their journey with specific clients. So really picking apart like each person, because like you guys said, and like we noticed when we wrote this, we each noticed different things about how we interact with others, how we write, how we look at the details that some of us missed, and others of us were just, you know, if everybody's detail oriented, you can't miss everything. I guess anything is what I'm saying.
So you're saying like, so the discussion about the questions that you're asking her was like the thread, like she said in the community thread, right?
The community thread, there were a couple, I feel like, especially when we were trying to put together our contingency contract.
Okay.
Also emailed her independently.
Yep, that was the other one.
And she was very like, because I tried to schedule just like a meeting with her and it didn't work out for our schedules, but she's like, just ask me in the email. And she responded to everything that I had and was really awesome about like making sure that I felt like I understood what she was saying.
Okay.
And we kind of assigned Melissa, or she volunteered to be the emailer, so that we didn't have like all 7 of us emailing the same questions. It was just, okay, do we have questions tonight? We would think of them, and then Melissa would email her. But we did meet every week, sometimes more than once. And then we were all working on it, you know, as we had time on the other nights or on our lunch break or whatever too. So it was kind of constant, ongoing confusion at first, and then communication.
We did make sure to like, when we had our emailer, we made sure to have her email all the questions at once. So it wasn't sporadic of questions, you know, so we had everything in one place kind of thing.
Well, that's a good plan to have, that every meeting you kind of at the end, we think of what questions we have and then write them up all in one email so that we have them for the next meeting. I think that's a good plan. So good job for you guys being proactive with that. And because it is difficult to have that, you know, trying to act as one in this paper and make that collaborative effort isn't always easy.
Right.
If we don't have a plan.
Yeah, what I will say is we didn't. So when Melissa would get the response for the professor, which was usually within a few hours, if maybe at most 24 hours, she would copy and paste it to our GroupMe chat so that we did all get the answer and then could work on the next steps of the project without waiting until that next meeting too. So.
Okay.
Also, I would like to, you know, extend our support too, because I know although we won't be writing the second portion, we can still, of course, communicate with you guys about this portion on the GroupMe in the big group. I think that does help just to have more eyes on any assignment. You know, if you all are asking, hey, you know, specifics of the assignment, we can also check the rubric, just because I think the more people on board to look through the specific requirements really does help. And we would be more than happy to help in that process also.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Montana.
Yeah, thank you, Montana. We definitely appreciate that. And we have definitely felt the support from that big group message on GroupMe. Because I know I was lost and I was like writing it in, asking, I was like, we're trying to figure it out. Like, and someone helping. You guys were responsive very fast and like punctual with submitting this. And the collaboration's been great so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, can we look at the suggestions?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want
to open the floor for that, you go ahead.
The suggestions
We can maybe scroll down to the summary for this, or do you guys want to just go through from here?
I know that some of the suggestions we made, the other subgroup had made comments on it, kind of clarifying some things. But Sana, if you want to get any like clarification on something, definitely go ahead. Let's scroll down to whichever part.
And she did, she did say that this meeting could be an overall. So if there were some specific ones that you wanted more clarification, beyond what we've written, we're certainly happy to do that too.
Yeah, so if you guys just let me know, pick a spot of the paper, I'll scroll down to it. Just let me know.
Okay, there was an issue on diversity.
Okay.
Okay. We suggested that maybe you could include females to the description of children.
Yeah. And that was actually a really, really good catch because it didn't even occur to us. And so we did do that. We went and changed and added a female to it. So that was,
I think,
very good point.
And I work with all male clients. And so like when we were writing, we just walked through all of it. And so that was a great suggestion. We really appreciated that and made that modification.
And thank you guys for being so receptive to that as well and
Yeah.
taking feedback professionally.
Let's see.
Anything else?
Yeah, I liked some of the feedback and comments that you had for us regarding I think one of the comments I made was something about including environmental variables within the antecedent portion, that kind of thing. And you guys just had a good response of how you incorporated that into your antecedent portion when you're talking about it and what you're aiming for this project. So yeah, thanks for taking the feedback and responding to it.
Okay, and we also suggested including conditional motivating operations.
So they had clarified that, I believe.
Okay, I think I saw that.
Down to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm scrolling.
Yeah,
Okay.
that it was only necessary to have UMOs in this assignment. We specifically saw that in the PowerPoint slides that she had for us, that she wanted us to focus on UMOs.
Okay.
And primarily, you would get into CMOs when you're doing more client specific things. And so because this was an overview, I think that's probably why she kept it to the UMOs instead of adding the CMOs.
Definitely. And I think that was something that I also may have looked over because of the information. So that was very helpful for you guys to clarify that as well, because I felt like the directions were, there's the PowerPoint and then there was the rubric and then the checklist. Yeah. There was kind of just a lot going on.
Yes, we understand.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you, everyone.